Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another Why No Sunday. If you're just now tuning in for the first time, my name is Elizabeth Kowalski. I'm the founder and director of Charlotte New Music and your Neighborhood Orchestra. We are made up of professional composers, musicians, and songwriters based in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you so much for spending a moment with us, for your support, and showing up to experience what we put together for you all. If you've watched us before, you know we have a virtual tip jar in our streams for Roof Above. That's an organization where they work directly with the homeless population throughout our city, and they've had to respond to a much higher demand for help due to the pandemic. So we're just trying to help them out. If you want to put money into our tip jar, you can text GIVE to 704-266-1626 and just text the word GIVE. Or you could visit our website and there's a tip jar at the very top of it. It's called yourneighborhoodorchestra.com. And you can just click the tip jar and do it that way too. So again, if you want to text to give, you would send a text to 704-266-1626. And you would just text the word give to that phone number, and then it'll prompt you through the rest of that. So throughout the past year, the pandemic, artists everywhere have been feeling, absorbing, and creating this entire time, even though we weren't allowed to get together and share those things for the most part. But we are excited to present some more awe-inspiring original music and dance from diverse genres and styles that we have right here in our own community in Charlotte, North Carolina. So many thanks to the ASC's Culture Blocks program, which provided a good base to make this possible. And the Culture Blocks is a community partnership between Arts and Science Council, Charlotte Mecklenburg Library, and Mecklenburg County Park and Recreation to bring arts and cultural experiences closer to where residents live, which in this case is your phone or computer. So Culture Blocks is funded by Mecklenburg County. Mecklenburg County is where the city of Charlotte is located. So without further ado, I want to present to you the first song on this live stream, Risa Joyce. It's a song written and performed by local hip hop artist Young Citizen. And we collaborated with him. Local composer and bassist John Shaughnessy wrote out the orchestral arrangement that you're going to hear that Young Citizen performed with. And then accompanying them in this performance that you're going to see is Latin dance rock stars Rodrigo and Wendy Jimenez with RW Latin Dance. They're so incredible. Can't wait for you to see them. So this song is about Young's aunt, Marisa Joyce Williams. She didn't really get to have a life, and she sacrificed a lot of her life to take care of her mom, who was suffering from Alzheimer's. Being a caretaker is a common position that a lot of people have to fill as they give the necessary care to their loved ones. And it's a very selfless, taxing, and oftentimes financially stressful situation for a lot of families. And I'm sure we all probably know people who have gone through this. So let this be a reminder that we have a lot of people in our community who deal with this and who go through this. And this is a story about Risa Joyce. I'm going to let the song speak for itself, though. It's a beautiful tribute and a beautiful reminder, and I hope you guys really enjoy watching.
Up on the south side, no side where my head lies. Sit down and reminiscing on the bad and the good times. No walks and bike rides around in the parking lot. Big wheels and train the wheels, take them off. Then I move up top, Shady Oak Trail, where my roots unfold, the unknown. Auntie never had no kids, that's her own decisions that she made back home. And let me first sip this tea as I get in my zone and burn east. I hope you're looking over your daughter. I know you're sitting up in heaven. I'm so sorry to bother, lessons learned. I know you're proud of what all you taught her. To have your presence is a blessing, shower down like water. Thank you for bringing recent choice into this world. I bet you never would have thought you have a beautiful girl. No worry, she's doing fine. But yeah, she's doing great now. If you were here, you would be so proud. Yeah. praying you never go through the struggle. The struggle make you stronger, you make it through, that's no problem. You can be whatever you want. I never be that dad to force you anything. Lover ever cost you anything. Your mama, I will always guide you through life. We pave the way for your journey, make it look real bright. We can make it seem real easy, there will be hard times and no lie. We've been there before, you put that pride to the side. You have no ego, you be overly confident. You just be yourself and stay away from the nonsense. You will make mistakes, but you will get the context. As long as you done with peace, so I'm hoping that makes sense. Lastly, college ain't for everyone. I only finished, I was told it never be done. You're a black woman living in America. Be organic, it helps, the time for replicas. Yeah.
So that sounded absolutely fantastic. That was great. Could you introduce yourself for us?
Yeah, I go by the name of Young Citizen, YUNG to be exact. I am a hip-hop artist, producer, and songwriter.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm John Shaughnessy. I'm a bassist, composer, and arranger. I kind of just play around, play at Charlotte, and kind of anywhere I'm needed, I guess.
Yeah. That was such an awesome performance and everything to see that live. Just to start with that song, where did it come from for you when you originally wrote it?
Yeah, so Recent Joyce is actually a record about my aunt and my grandmother, right? So my grandmother had Alzheimer's disease, and so when she made that transition into that disability, my aunt took the initiative to be like, you know what, I'm gonna take care of mom, and so she never really got to have that life of like becoming a wife or becoming a mother. So she just had to take care of my grandmother until she passed in 2016. So that's where that inspiration came from. So I kind of dedicated that song to my aunt and my grandmother. So that's where it came from. So Risa Joyce is short for Marisa Joyce Williams.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then you said you're a producer as well. Did you, as far as like the original version for that track, did you do some of the production on it?
I did this. So it is an original sample. And so I sampled it, chopped it up the way, to those parts. And then I brought in my homie Sterl. His name is Sterling Harris, but he goes by Sterl. But he helped put the drums together, and then we just made it into a record. And then I just wrote to it, and then we just made it into it just feels good, like when I perform it, and then when you listen to it, it just makes you feel warm, So that's kind of what I was going for.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. And then John, when you get that finished track, when you first kind of took it and looked at it, what was one of the things that jumped out to you that you really wanted to do from an orchestration standpoint?
So I listened to his whole EP, and that was the one that really stuck out for me. I think having a jazz background, I really like that initial kind of cocktail jazz sample. I really like the changes in there. And I like the kind of the change between that and kind of like the hip hop, real hard hip hop, and the whole dichotomy between the two. That's the one that really stuck out for me.
How did it feel, just performing that, standing there with that close to everybody playing and doing it live?
Yeah, well, for one, it was my first time ever, performing in front of a full symphony. My DJ wasn't there to have a backtrack.
Right.
John asked me, he's like, do you want a backtrack? I was like, no, I just want a full symphony, straight up symphony, because I want to feel it. As soon as I heard it, I went straight into my verse. I was just in the zone.
Hello, we're with Wendy and Rodrigo from RW Latin Dance. You guys are obviously a couple of the more well-known, right? So
we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. Man, I've gone to your dance parties and I've had an amazing time. So if you haven't been yet, you gotta go. And they're back doing stuff, and just wear masks and be careful. And,
throughout the pandemic, we want to make sure that dance never really stopped for us. Because we felt like this would be a good time to regather ourselves and focus on us. So we took a little break.
Yeah.
But then we got back to it because we realized how important it is to be moving, to be around people. So if we took the proper precautions, we could continue that, you know,
Totally.
with limited capacity, of course, enough space, mask, and continue dancing and sharing that energy. It really makes a huge difference for some of us, you know.
Totally. And what all do you guys do? What styles and?
Yeah, well, we do traditional Latin styles, salsa, bachata, and then cha-cha-cha as well. When we started teaching with the pandemic, we started teaching cha-cha-cha.
Nice.
And we are, we met dancing tango, Argentine tango. So we have Argentine tango really like close to our hearts. And whenever we started, back in 2008, we give it a little twist to tango with salsa. Okay. So we did a salsa tango style and created some moves and it was a good thing that people really accepted it and they really liked it. So that was one of the things that we started getting hired in different events around the US to do that. And later on with bachata. So also bachata with tango. So we call it bachata tango. And we also implemented the fundamentals of Argentine tango with bachata.
For the song that you guys were working on, what all is that?
Well, we heard the song and we thought, this is a really nice mix. The two different sounds coming together. We could really do something that stands out, and of course, Argentine tango was like our choice, to do that. With the hip hop, it goes hand in hand.
Totally.
And lately, whenever we do tango, we've been focusing on like something outside of the box too. We are trying to like use different music, so that way people can start realizing that you don't have to always stay within the limits. You can start getting out of the box and exploring different movements and different sounds and music can push you to do something different. Even within tango, is gonna feel like, okay, what else can I do here? How far I can go and take it. So
that's beautiful, and it fits what we did amazingly. Thank you so much to Young Citizen for sharing his incredible gifts and song with us, and for John Shaughnessy's contribution with that rock and orchestral writing, and Rodrigo and Wendy for dancing their hearts out, and for each and every performer in the orchestra. Everyone came together to accomplish something really special, but we still have one more song to show you. The next song is called The Man I Used to Be. So The Man I Used to Be was written by Pete Lentz and Art Mays, and it was arranged for Your Neighborhood Orchestra by composer John Allemeier.
I'm not particular, I just forget the little things. Seems these days my thoughts are made of glass. Sometimes they shatter and the pieces make me think of questions that I never thought I'd ask. Wanna put my faith in the man I think I see. My reflection lies. Who am I now? I can't tell what's missing. Is there someone listening? Who am I now? I can almost see it, but I can't quite be the man I used to be. I don't remember you, but I think I know your face. You've got my eyes, and that seems a little strange. quite be the man I used to be.
That was truly something else. I really enjoyed watching that. I mean, that was amazing to actually do that day, but to see everything that you guys did with it after the fact, and yeah.
The lady at the end waving was my great aunt who had Alzheimer's. So I it's hard for me to, like, I get teary-eyed just watching this thing and hearing the song, and it's just it's so gorgeous.
Yeah, the picture of my grandfather's tombstone at the end, that hit pretty hard.
So tell us about your grandfather, right?
Yeah, it was my grandfather. He died in 1991 from, obviously from Alzheimer's, and it was a long process. Like, there was forgetful things, and then there was serious forgetful things. Like, people with Alzheimer's eventually forget to take care of themselves physically. It's a long, slow process. And when Art and I were writing the song, I wanted a way to describe what I thought he might be going through. But I'm not a very good lyricist myself. I'm more of a musical arranger and composer. Art, my partner, Art Mays, he's an incredible lyricist. So I described to him, how I felt about it and what I thought I wanted to say.
Right.
And he then would bounce back lyrical ideas to me, and then we would create metaphors. And that's he was instrumental in helping me develop the My Thoughts Are Made of Glass, and how they shatter and the pieces scatter around. And and you can't, when glass shatters, you can't put it back together, and you can never find all of the pieces.
Right.
That became the perfect metaphor for what I thought, what it seemed to me as an outsider looking in, what his thought and his mind might have been doing, through the process or through the progression of the disease. And I wanted to, I had searched for a long time in how to describe how I felt about what I thought he was going through. And it was my session with Art that really solidified it. And then we had put some beautiful music behind it and just made it a very sad lament. And then it kind of, picks up in the second verse, because I'm a rocker. It's what I do. So, I didn't want to make it a full-on ballad. I wanted to give it some oomph in that second part, as though maybe he would have actively been trying to reclaim some of what he lost, or would he even have realized it was gone to begin with? Wow. And unfortunately, you can never really know unless you actually have Alzheimer's, and then by then it's too late.
Right. Wow.
So
that is so deep, so powerful.
Art is an absolute fantastic lyricist. He's a great composer, a great musician, and my partnership with him is invaluable to the songwriting process. This particular song is on an EP that's on all the streaming things right now. The EP is called Weather Patterns, and now we are currently working on a follow-up full album.
Right.
We've released 2 songs off of it already, and getting ready to release a 3rd one coming very soon. And yeah, so we're plugging ahead with the original music. But in terms of the Your Neighborhood Orchestra, this song totally made sense.
I have really enjoyed conducting it too. I really love the song personally, and I have so much appreciation and respect for what you do, and thank you so much for being a part of this, really, and for being so enthusiastic about being a part of it, and for what we're doing as a whole.
I think the Your Neighborhood Orchestra is an amazing project. When I think back to like the actual session and being there that day and seeing all the orchestra, the video producers, the audio producers, the other musicians that were there to record their stuff, and just the immense talent pool that you've been able to assemble through this whole process. And you and I have been friends a long time, and it was seeing all that process, and then when it was time to get up and sing the song, and then finding out you were actually going to be conducting the orchestra, it's like, oh my God, this is just great, this is fantastic. But more than that, this whole project has been a fantastic example of how you can bring a local music community together and really truly create original pieces of art. It's transcended being just a song, and it's a genuine work of art now. And I'm so excited to be a part of what you're doing, and I hope that you do this again next year. And I want to be a part of it again, and in any capacity, because it's just an exciting thing that you're doing. And I just love it.
And you're a great vocalist, great performer, always ready to go, always prepared, always ready to rock. I mean, that's what you do.
It's what I do. It's how I do. I love it.
So thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for having me. And thank you for that to everybody watching for supporting the arts. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes, and your support is so important. So thank you. And thank you, Elizabeth, for having me and having us be a part of this. And it's been an incredible journey.
So John, hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. What was it like for you to just create that orchestral version of it?
Yeah, it was, first of all, it was a very cool process, and something I hadn't done much of before. So it was really exciting to sort of be able to use my creativity and my skill set in a way that I don't typically do. I knew what I needed on the end of it, and I knew what I had at the beginning of it, and I didn't really know how I was going to get through it, through the whole process, or what I was going to go through in the middle. But and it started out with just a lot of listening, just listening to the piece over and over and over again. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just making a version of that song for orchestra, right? I wanted to be part of the creativity that went into it in the beginning, and be sort of an extension of that to the end. The original is it has very dramatic shapes to it. It has some very dramatic textural changes and things. Even though it's a traditional sort of rock band setting, it has very highs and lows. And so that was one of the things that was really easy for me to represent. Of course, when you go into a larger ensemble, that's one of the things you can do pretty easily, is have lots of people playing, have a few people playing.
It's such an emotional piece, song. And then I thought the build-ups and the certain parts of the little wind ensemble parts and all of the builds and everything were really, really well done. And
yeah, my favorite moment is the very first chorus, because in the original, it's it starts with this descending chord progression, but then it sort of drops to just this very quiet, who am I now? And then the next line is someone listening. Mm-hmm. And it's like the texture is so quiet, that you're, wait a minute, he's making me listen when he does that. And so that was one of the things I really, really wanted to capture. And so I just have the woodwinds, quietly in the background, and then it builds as the chorus goes on and the cello comes in. And that moment, every time I listen to it, I'm like, if I got one thing right in that, it's that little section. It works really, really well. And I think it's because I captured what Pete and Art had put into that moment, right? And so it's, to me, that's kind of a really special moment in the piece, is that first chorus, because I think Pete and Art had something special in mind for that moment.
Pete is just over the moon about it.
He's got such a great voice too. I mean, and it combines so well with that sort of orchestral color and things, because there's a little bit of growl to his voice, but like super defined pitch, and so it works just really well in that context. It's a nice contrast between the orchestral colors and his vocal colors. Really great.
It is. Well, thank you so much. And is there anything else you'd like to add on anything about the process or anything?
It's interesting because a lot of times composers deal with notated music so specifically, right? And this was not that, and that so you just being given a sound file of something is typically not how classical composers in that classical context really work. And so it was really refreshing to say, oh, okay, I'm starting from I'm starting from a sonic experience. And then I could go into sort of much more, I want to say, typical composer process, and that, okay, I've got all these ideas, now let me just shape them into something. So yeah, but it was great material to start with.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for your work on this. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for delivering an amazing score for us to translate, and super cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been a great experience.
Thank you to all of the collaborators who came together to make these works of art happen. I hope that you all in the audience thoroughly enjoyed the experience and that you learned something new today. I know that finding original music and dance can be a little difficult at first, but it's there if you seek it out. There are things you can participate in, things you can enjoy, then you can get some movement. It's good for you. It's going to be magical. Just get out there. You just got to step out of what you know, what's easily accessible, and just seek out the work by super talented creators who live and work in your community. It's a way for you to really just shop local and invest back into your community, and you'll get a lot out of it, I promise. So just a quick reminder, the Roof Above fundraiser we have, the tip jar. So it's text GIVE, the word GIVE, to 704-266-1626, or you can go to our website and click the tip jar over there. As we've mentioned before, we looked forward to sharing in the same space with you all, and you can see more of where and when that'll happen in person starting this summer. You can just go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. You can go to yourneighborhoodorchestra.com. We also have charlottenewmusic.org, which is the parent organization, and there's all kinds of cool stuff going on over there too. We will never spam you. I don't have time for that. We do not have time. But we'll only send you something when it's time to let you know when something cool is coming up. So we do have one more live stream 2 Sundays from now on June 13th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. It's featuring Lisa DeNovo and Mercury Carter. Each song is just so unique, and it spotlights another world of beauty that lives in our community. So we look forward to seeing you there as well. Please take care of each other. We look forward to crossing paths very soon. Thank you.
Grew up on the south side, no side where my head lies. Sit down and reminiscing on the bad and the good times. No walks and bike rides around in the parking lot. Big wheels and train the wheels, take them off. Then I move up top, Shady Oak Trail, where my roots unfold, the unknown. Auntie never had no kids, that's her own decisions that she made back home. And let me first sip this tea as I get in my zone. And Bernice, I hope you're looking over your daughter. I know you're sitting up in heaven, I'm so sorry to bother, lessons learned. I know you're proud of what all you taught her. To have your presence is a blessing, shower down like water. Thank you for bringing recent joys into this world. I bet you never would have thought you have a beautiful girl. No worry, she's doing fine. But yeah, she's doing great now. If you were here, you would be so proud. Yeah. Praying you never go through the struggle. The struggle make you stronger, you make it through, that's no problem. You can be wherever you want. I never be that dad to force you anything. Never ever cost you anything. Your mama, I will always guide you through life. We pave the way for your journey, make it look real bright. We can make it seem we're easy.